Am I the a-hole for pretending to get fired when customers get a temper with me? I am a high schooler with a weekend job at a coffee shop. My coworkers who work weekends are James, the owner's son. He goes to my school. He's a shift manager, but it's not a real formal thing. He's a friendly guy. Danielle, the college student who sometimes works weekends too. So sometimes customers will come in and just be angry about such little stuff. Like literally blow up about nothing. I don't know if they're in a bad mood already and looking for someone to take it out on or what, but it's a lot. Like, how sad do you have to be? A grown man taking your anger out on high school and college kids. So, James and I were joking about having a little fun with them and hopefully getting them off our backs. So, one day I was at work and some guy was having a temper about how we don't make the coffee hot enough. Which I couldn't do a thing about because I gave it to him right out of the machine. So, James came in and was like, "Sir, is there a problem here?" And the guy started ranting at him too. So, he was just like, "OP, this is unacceptable, you're fired." I started acting really sad, like, "No, please don't fire me, my family needs the money, I need this job, please," and he played up being a hard ass, telling me to take off my apron and leave. The angry guy started to backtrack, like it isn't that big of a problem, you don't need to fire her over it. I didn't mean it, and James was like, "No, we pride ourselves on the best customer service." Of course, after all that drama, I still had my job, we were just acting. And we've done it a couple times. Whenever a customer will lose their temper at Danielle or I, James will storm in and fire us. And almost every time, the person who had come in angry will apologize and say that they didn't mean it. It's kind of satisfying, making people realize their actions might actually have consequences. Anyway, I was telling my friends from school about this, and a few of them thought it was a mean prank to let someone go away thinking they'd gotten someone who desperately needs the money fired. Am I the a-hole for this joke? Let's read some of the comments and I'll tell you what I think. Not the a-hole, that's a perfect way of dealing with hostile customers. Not the a-hole. I think it's hilarious and maybe it'll teach some people a lesson about controlling their assholery. Not the a-hole, customers can be effing dicks. Usually, people are pretty respectful and reasonable, even when they have a legit complaint, but every now and then there's the one guy or gal that comes in and just can't be made happy. They're the worst. I've taken the approach of killing with kindness and being sarcastically polite. "Oh, okay, sir. I can microwave your coffee for you. Would you like 2 minutes or 5? It's fun," usually pisses them off more, but they can't do anything because you're not saying anything wrong. I'm curious how the customer acts when they come in the next day or following week and you're still behind the counter. You're the a-hole. This situation seems pretty uncomfortable for everyone in the cafe. Most people go to cafes to relax. I know if I saw it happen, I would think the place has a whole managers and I wouldn't come back. I would probably tell all my friends not to go as well. Customers blowing up is something you will occasionally have to deal with in the service industry. It's literally what managers are paid to deal with, and your mate is not dealing with it appropriately. Is the owner aware you and his son are pulling these little pranks at the cost of his business? I imagine when he finds out you might be fired for real. And for the last comment before I add my 2 cents, let's read, "Everyone sucks here. Customers suck for obvious reasons. You guys suck because even though your intentions are good, teach moronic customers a lesson. Your antics behind the counter of pretending to get fired are going to create a reputation for your coffee shop that management there is flippant and quick to fire employees over nothing. You think you're teaching the customer a lesson, but in reality, you're creating unwarranted reviews and rumors that your shop is run by fire-happy management. That could deter patrons from coming to your shop. Your friend James is in a leadership position and he could potentially be hurting his father's business. That's the real reason you suck here. Your pranks reflect on the business and it goes up to ownership, who ultimately will deal with it when it comes down to the numbers. James' father could fire you both for trying to trick customers because it could in turn lead to certain customers never returning to the coffee shop or spreading reviews to friends to not go there for coffee because they disliked the management. Yeah, they might be dicks, but they're still buying stuff. Everyone sucks here because customers can be absolute tools, but what you're doing is potentially hurting James' father and his business in this story. The customer is right approach always makes the customer think they are right and continue with said attitude, which in this case is getting angry and blowing up. Also, there is no smoke without fire. If the coffee shop keeps getting angry customers, maybe it is a sign that the business needs some changes. Everyone sucks here for the obvious reasons. James, the shift manager, for not dealing with the angry customer appropriately. The customers for causing a scene instead of just stating their complaints respectfully, and also you for being a part of the main joke at the customer's expense. The main question we should be discussing is this a good approach for dealing with hostile customers? Soon enough, if these are repeat customers, they would soon realize that it is all a joke at their expense, and then another blow-up might happen. Also, what if you get a customer that blows up and does not backtrack when you play out this routine? It would be best for your employer to put up signs saying verbal abuse on employees is not tolerated, seeing that, as you have said, this blowouts can be a lot. Now, most businesses care more about their revenue, which is brought in by the customers, so they may not be willing to do anything that would affect their profit margin. But, since James is the owner's son, maybe he can ask his parent if they would be fine with a sign being put up. Another option would be for the shift manager to defuse the situation by letting the angry customers know that verbal abuse on staff is not allowed and try to resolve their issue as long as it is a reasonable request. Am I the a-hole for not taking down my video that was a gift from my best man? I have a sister that's 6 years older than me. My parents for years cancel on me last minute because of my sister. I have a basketball game. Oops, sorry sister, doesn't feel like going out. I am graduating. Oops, sorry sister, had a bad day at work. They have missed both major and smaller events in my life because of her meltdowns. I met the love of my life. We decided to tie the knot. From the beginning I told my parents how I am worried my sister will ruin another special moment in my life. My mom told me over and over again it would not happen. The day of my wedding, I received a voicemail from my mom saying they couldn't come because my sister's dog was sick and she was upset. I was hurt. My best man, however, is a jokester. He took my phone, then went to my fiancée and asked if he could post a video of our wedding as a gift on social media. She loved his idea. I had no idea about it until I came home. Our honeymoon was at a lakeside cabin. No cell service. The post caption was my best friend. He is an amazing person even if his parents never showed up for him. Video was still pictures of us next to her parents, me on the dance floor, cutting the cake. Where you would normally see both parents in wedding pictures. The sound behind the video was my mom's voicemail explaining how they couldn't come because my sister's dog was sick. I came home a week later to hundreds of messages. Family members from both sides insisting I take it down. I was told my sister hasn't stopped crying. My mom is refusing to leave the house. I may be the a-hole here. I didn't take it down when I got my messages. I didn't call my family back right away. I waited until my vacation time was over at work and enjoyed my time with my wife in our new home before I contacted anyone. My dad told me to take down the video. It was just a bad night for them. That they will make it up to me and my wife for not coming. My reply was exactly, how do you plan to make up my wedding? It's a once-in-a-lifetime thing. You choose to ignore my feeling on the whole matter. Then he just repeated he will make it up to me. I told him I would take down the video only when he made up missing my wedding. Flustered, we both hung up the phone before we've both said things we shouldn't have. Am I the a-hole here? I could have just taken down the video. Let's read some of the comments and then I would let you know my thoughts. Not the a-hole. The truth hurts sometimes, and your parents and sister just got whammied. Your friend is awesome. Please leave the video up. Your friend didn't manipulate their words. Your parents would have nothing to cry about if they hadn't done anything wrong. They skipped your wedding with one seriously pathetic excuse. Let them feel the effects of that. Your friend is the true MVP in this story. OP, keep that video up until the end of time. Your parents need to be reminded just how much they failed you and favored your sister. Your family doesn't like it. Lucky for you, you just married into a new one. Not the a-hole. Not only would I leave it up, but I would start a YouTube channel and add to it. You know. You post holiday pictures with your mom speaking over it with "Sorry we can't make it, Sissy has a pimple." Or when you post baby pictures with mom and dad saying "Sorry, but Sissy is having a bad hair day." Post links here, Facebook, Twitter. Monetize it to make a nice nest egg and enjoy your life sissy-free. I love my pets and I could see missing an event for a sick pet that was nearing deletion. But I certainly wouldn't expect other family members to miss a wedding of an immediate family member. For crying out loud. Of course, we know sick dog tail was just that, a tail. Probably the dog was ill, but the parent being there was absolutely not required, and the sister knew that. Someone asked OP if his sister is developmentally disabled or if she has any diagnosed mental issues, and he responded, "Let read. No, she is just super spoiled. She cries on demand. Big crocodile tears whenever she doesn't get her way. Or when she isn't in the spotlight. My wife thinks my sister did this because she asked her own sisters to be bridesmaid and not my sister. My sister has done it so many times I think she is just jealous I got married." Given how often your older sister has a crisis when your parents' attention is about to be on you, it is hard to believe that your sister's crisis is all a coincidence. But then again, your parents have enabled, or dare I say encouraged, your sister's behavior by playing favorites and being there with their fire extinguishers to put out her crisis. I mean, your parents canceled on you on your graduation day because your sister was having a bad day. That is crazy. How is your sister going to learn to deal with her own crisis if your parents keep interfering and this has affected your life as well? You let your parents know how you were worried your sister was going to ruin yet again another special moment in your life, and even at your mom's reassurance that that would not be the case, they still didn't show up because your sister's dog was sick. I am sure this did not come as a surprise to you. I understand how people love their dogs, but your parents could have told her to take her dog to the vet and keep them informed and headed straight to your wedding. But instead, they sent a voicemail letting you know they would be a no-show. So, are you an a-hole for not taking down your wedding video with your mom's voicemail in it? Well, there is a slight a-holeness, not sure that's a word, in your actions, but no lies were told, so in this instance I think it's allowed, seeing that the reason your parent gave for not coming to your wedding is ridiculous. One of them could have at least showed up, so you are not the a-hole. Your sister is the a-hole as well as mom and dad for playing favorites. And since they have canceled on you most of your life, they scored a 9 out of 10 on the a-hole meter. So, we've come to the end. Please like, share, subscribe, and leave your thoughts in the comment. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.